The most important thing before you start the use case, now that you've installed Visual Studio Code and Docker for Windows along with GitHub, is to be able to make sure that Docker for Windows is running. So if you click on this, you should see that in your taskbar, it says Docker is running. That's step number one. Step number two is to make sure that you see switch to Windows containers, which means that Docker is currently running on a Linux container, which is what we want. So I repeat that we want to make sure that Docker is running on a Linux container. So you should see the switch to Windows container option here. Number three is you will need to fire up PowerShell on Windows and go into Docker version, and you should see both the client and the server. Number four, go into Docker machine version, and you should see the machine version of Docker. Number five is to use Docker Compose version and should see the Docker Compose version. Apart from this, I also recommend keeping an eye on docs.docker.com. All of the documentation is going to be available on docs.docker.com, and I highly recommend that you have a sneak peek of whatever is going on here. And if you run into anything, just click on the troubleshooting section or the user guide. I will go over all the important phases with you. You don't need anything extra as far as the use cases are concerned, but keep this as a reference material. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lecture.